An alarming number, 14% of San Diego business owners say they're thinking of leaving town.
Coming up on the KUSI News at 6, we're going to have the latest on the economic forecast and what business owners say is a major problem.
Some troubling news tonight about San Diego's business community. Turns out 14% of local businesses are thinking of leaving town, and a large number say the local government is the reason why.
KUSI's Lauren Finney joins us now with more on this new report tonight. Lauren?
Well, Sandra Allen, thank you. Those are just a couple of the findings from the new San Diego business forecast. And joining me tonight to talk about what this means and what needs to be done are Jerry Sanders, the president and CEO of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, and John Nienstedt, president of the Competitive Edge Research. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for being here. And we kind of heard the headline, which was that 14% of businesses are thinking about relocating, which of course is not the good news. And you know, this was taken before the minimum wage vote, but Jerry, how much do you think that really played into some of this?
You know, we track this every month with Silvergate Bank sponsoring our survey, and what we have found is that people have been very concerned about the minimum wage increase for the past several months. A lot of uncertainty around that. A lot of small business simply can't afford the uncertainty with the minimum wage, especially with the consumer price indexing of that, which means every single year minimum wage will go up after that. So that's been a real concern to a lot of businesses.
Is that the feedback? I mean, was that the overall kind of sense of where we felt this uncertainty and maybe feeling like the local government isn't being friendly?
Well, the local government's not friendly. We've seen linkage fee, we've seen the Barrio Logan, we've seen this issue with minimum wage. About 32% of businesses in San Diego don't see the city of San Diego as being a business-friendly environment, as opposed to about 22% within the entire county with all the other cities.
Oh. And John, your tough job is to interpret all of this data, and you know, in mentioning that you know, a lot of these businesses were seeing the local government being unfriendly, but yet we also found that the business outlook is still relatively optimistic, or at least as it was the month before.
Right. So what you see here is this is no joke. There are 14% that are considering leaving or moving operations, some of their operations out of city, out of state. But what we found is that it's the group of companies that are struggling, that are looking at their business and seeing that things aren't going quite as well, plus the hospitality industry, and also those folks who see that businesses, that government is not being friendly towards business in general. So those three things are kind of combining to drive folks out of, consider driving folks out of the city.
And Jerry, of course, obviously, you know, former mayor, what do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think the city needs to understand the city doesn't create jobs. Business creates jobs, and people want jobs. They don't want handouts. They don't want government programs. They want to work. And if we don't create an environment where business can thrive and create new jobs, can get a fair deal all the time, can get some certainty in practices and certainty in timing, they're simply going to look for another place to do business, and that's very detrimental to the economy in San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Now, some of the areas, you know, the highlights where we saw that larger companies are actually eager to hire. So that was a bright spot.
If you have more than 50 employees working for you, 50 or more, you're in that sweet spot of desiring to hire more if you can, but the smaller companies, not so much.
Yeah, and home and garden, health, fitness, those were industries that really seemed pretty optimistic.
As we head into summer months, yeah.
Okay.
That's a great thing about San Diego. The summer months are kind to those sorts of businesses, and it dovetails really nicely, shows that they're more optimistic.
Well, and I think as a business has gotten better, people have a little bit more disposable income to spend on their house, you know, in landscaping or in fitness, which when you're in tough times, you cut that out, do it yourself. Now they can go back and do those types of things.
Okay, well, do you anticipate there to be a change next month, given that this minimum wage increase has passed?
Well, I don't see it getting any better for a while. I think the council's on a collision course with small business, and I don't think that's healthy for small business because they can move right outside the city limits, and I think that's what's going to create real problems.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Sandra Allen, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks.